Send the data.
Dig the shirt, huh, kid?
Hey, what's up, guys? You're kicking with Rob and Tara and Mr. Angry Quad. I am a C5, C6, T10 quadriplegic from a car accident. And my boy Angry Quad.
Oh shit! Hold up. I gotta. Okay, that should be better.
All right, boss. Hey, I see Tara's in the chat already. And today we're talking about routines.
Always. And very much like any other routine, this is a routine in and of itself. Although I will say, what we just spoke about before is that I think we should consider the idea of getting a different time slot. Like I say,
Yeah.
You do what you got to do, man. Well, you bring me up to speed on that whole thing. We'll figure it out.
You were thinking like Wednesdays.
Wednesday, I think, would be good. Going back with the day after the Live to Roll boys would be good and stuff like that because a little more mainstream type of thing. A lot of times, those of us in this situation, come Saturday, it's more of a relaxed thing. Maybe not really check out the whole. Perhaps maybe do people do the I'm not going to deal with the whole screen time this weekend, and I'm just going to, do my thing and stuff like that. As compared, like every other work week, during the week is something that you actually, people get into routines, man.
And that's perfect routine. I know that we've been doing this for a couple Saturdays to test this routine, to get this right, so we can figure out our time slot.
Exactly. I agree. But, once again, you get into a routine, and the next thing you know, you want to go over here and do something else and stuff like that. Well, then that's segregated from other things that you're doing and stuff like that. It's almost a form of during your weekly routine and stuff like that. It's a planned spontaneity per se, and when it comes to like your weekends, you may have a different routine on a Saturday and stuff like that that differs from the rest of the week. The weekends are different from the rest of the week. So
yeah, I agree with you. Like our Sundays will be cleaning the house day, getting all the dirt up off the floor that I ran through the house that week.
Oh yeah. But
and what's your morning routine?
Typically, it's the same thing every. Well, I wouldn't say same thing every day as it pertains to like times and things of that nature. But you know what? Once I'm up, the first thing I do is I just fuck off for a little while and just open my eyes, shake my head, and figure out what the heck I'm doing. However, typically I'll have breakfast, in bed because I'm royalty and shit like that. So, and then and then from there, I'll just do a little maxing and relaxing for a little while and let nature do its job through the digestive process. Even though digestion for a quadriplegic has been slowed down to a degree. Well, when I say to a degree, I mean a whole ton. But I'll transfer into my chair, and then from there, I make my way to the bathroom. I take care of my morning routine as far as bowel practice, and then showering and things of that nature. God willing, that whole thing will work out pretty well. And then from there, once I shower up, and one of my favorite routines when I'm in the bathroom and stuff like that, um, I start my shower. And when you first turn the shower on, the water's cold.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, well, I grab that instantly and I start hosing my entire body off.
You're
And
not
stuff.
serious, are you?
Oh no, I'm totally serious.
Oh, I do that and it gives me AD
Well,
instantly.
it's we all deal with things the way we deal with things, and we have reactions the way we have reactions, man. I can only tell you about my routine.
Yeah, you don't get cold, do you? Like really
Uh,
cold.
I do get cold. No, no, no. I feel cold. I have sensation. I feel cold. It's not as insane as it would be, but then again, as I got a little bit older, man, I get a little bit more stubborn and shit like that. So it's one of those things.
Hey, Nicole.
Niggy babe, welcome to the world, kid. But I actually hose myself off really good because I use one of those little squirty things,
Yeah.
a little wand. But the only time it's really a big situation because, regardless of the level of injury that you have and whatever impairment that you have, from here up is just the way it used to be. So I go through my legs, and then I go through my arms and stuff like that, and then I'll hit my head. The head makes you feel like, whew. But regardless, at that point in time, it will start getting a little bit warmer. So I go back over my arms and stuff like that, and I go back over my head. Because once again, this is one of the things where the lymphatic system, it reacts to temperature. All the vessels that are just underneath your skin and stuff like that, they cold water has them contract, and then hot water has them expand. So it makes it like a vacuum system to suck in all the rest of the gack from wherever it might be, and you then in turn, you enable the lymphatic system to work a little bit better as you've been impaired through your inability to actually, have those muscle contractions and everything else like that. So, but after that, I get out of there and I brush my teeth, I comb my hair, I do whatever I got to do. I transfer back into bed. I get myself dressed once I get back in bed. After I drive for a little bit, and I'll fuck off watching stupid YouTube shit or something like that. And then from there, I get my fat ass back into my shower chair. I get my fat ass into my power chair. And then typically at that point in time, I'll sort of, I do my best to get outside for at least 15, 20 minutes because fresh air, sunshine, all the rest of that stuff is very effective. And then from there, I get on the floor. I'll go through my floor routine, whether it be 45 minutes, an hour and 15, an hour and a half, depends on, how I feel that day. And then once I'm able to get my fat ass back into my chair, that's the end of my routine for right then and there. After that, it's just, planned spontaneity or, as spontaneous as I can be and depends on what I actually wish to achieve for the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, I wake up in the morning. I usually wake up a little earlier than Tara. I'll jump on, watch the news, get on YouTube a little bit, see what's happening. Now, of course, I got like 50 different projects, so I will check out what I need to do for the day, what is like my main priority, and I'll go through that. Then I do my bow routine,
Okay.
get dressed. From there, Now, of course, my routine's a little different than it used to be because I would eat breakfast, etc., etc. But now I get up, get my feed, whatever you want to call it, water, get it hooked up to
Hmm.
me. Um,
Yeah, well, dude, I mean, that's something that you do that I don't. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole thing with the new. I guess you can call it the water pump, the nutrition
the
pump,
nutrition,
what the
yeah.
what do you got? Like one of those J tubes or that tough guy shit or something like that?
Mine is a DJ tube. And the reason
Okay.
why that is because if they pump any of the food into my stomach, it instantly comes up and I aspirate. And I was going through that pneumonia for 5 or 6 months there, like right
Yeah,
after another.
yeah. Every 15 minutes, my man, you ended up in the fucking hospital. Fuck all that noise, man. But once again, because of what you went through and you understood what you went through because of your routines, you were able to understand that shit. You were able to pick up on it and you were able to actually deal with it accordingly and stuff like that. Well, at least I'd like to believe so. But, routines teach you habits and habits teach you things that are not in your routine. And that's why you were able to pick up on certain things because they were outside of your habits and your routines, and you started getting smarter because of them.
You're absolutely right. I mean, when me and Tara met, and we had talked about this prior, I literally had no routine. So over the last 4 years, it has become rhythm as a teammate, getting things done, working as a team. Um, it gets, and then you got a routine for when routines go bad.
Well, yeah, well, it's as much as you want to deal with plan A, if you don't have your backup plan B, dude. I mean, what a couple of weeks ago you were talking about the fact that you zipped down your ramp, ran right into a mud puddle, and you ended up getting stuck in the mud. Now, maybe
Yeah.
perhaps you don't exactly have a real plan about getting out of that situation. However, I'm going to make a bold assumption of the fact that you've done it a couple times. So there's certain things you realize, okay, son of a bitch, this happened, so I got to do that. And then that happened, so I got to do this. You know, a plan of catastrophe. I mean, there's really only one payout. Think about this. So you don't fucking die. You know what I mean? So you're not left over there. And there's always a situation. There's always going to be a situation. And, regardless of whether you like it or not, it's coming, man.
Yeah, living in the country, um,
Living a
getting
dream.
stuck is a daily thing around here.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, like the other day, I was out there in the yard, got stuck, and I was like, well, I know the one thing I won't do is keep digging myself deeper and deeper and deeper. So I just hung out for a little bit, gave Tara a call, come out, help me out.
Hey, baby.
I'm
I'm a little.
stuck.
I'm a little stuck over here. You know. That she's a good girl, man.
Oh yeah,
Um,
she's amazing.
yeah, I don't know what the hell you did to deserve that one, dude. But hey, here you are, here I am, and we're both with really awesome women, man. And that's one of the points with one of the things I often think about is I believe that my job is to put her out of a job.
Right.
Meaning is that my routines make me stronger. They make me more confident, and I understand that a lot of the stuff that I actually have to do um, is not exactly for myself. I mean, it is ultimately builds independence and stuff like that. But the stronger I get, the less she has to concern herself with me. So my routines make it so the everyday fundamentals, the whole, okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3,
Right.
makes it so that she doesn't have to concern herself with me as much as she used to or has to.
Yeah, I understand that because when me and Tara met, I was literally a 48-hour job, I would say. Um,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't and couldn't do nothing for myself. So all the burden was on her. And I had this routine. Like when we first met, I had none. There was no routine. Um, you
Well,
know, the building that routine has helped me help her have to do less for me. And I
okay.
like that.
Well, how do you feel? How do you believe that your life is better because you established a few routines?
Oh, yes. I mean, when she had her surgery, when I stepped up and said, "Yo, I gotta really be able to do these transfers and
Uh,
move myself around," it became a routine every day, not just every other day or once in a while. It was an everyday thing.
okay, with the what did you learn from that?
One, that I can do the things that I thought I couldn't do.
Okay.
Um, and it leaves a little less stress off of her. You know, I don't have to worry about her hurting her back or, having to move me around.
Okay. Hey, Nicole, thank you very much. I agree with me as well. Thank you, sweetheart. Um, but no, it's. I think I mentioned this before, as it pertains to problems you run into and stuff like that. A problem is a problem if you don't quite understand how to get out of said problem. But if you continue to run into a problem and a problem and a problem, and you don't learn, and learn if it's the same problem, once again, damn near a routine. And the lessons that you learn that suck the most are the ones you learn the most, the ones that are most valuable and stuff. Like getting yourself out of shit soup is very important. Very much like the mud problem. Very much like the lessons that you learned dealing with Tara after she was incapacitated. And I don't believe that you don't have you have an obligation, at least in my head, you have an obligation to probably either step up or step off, man. And in the shit you learn where there is a serious situation, those are the ones that you have to take with you. Those are the ones that are most important. Those are the ones that you're going to remember the most, because if every day was a sunny Sunday and stuff like that and it was no big deal,
Right.
why bother, dude? You just, hey, everything is fine. Everything is fine. You don't learn everything when everything is fine. I mean, for fuck's sake, you just broke your fucking leg damn near getting into your car. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, I'm getting a little feedback from something.
All
Uh,
right.
yeah, the whole leg thing the other day. Like, we have this routine getting in and out of the car, getting in and out of the car, and it was working for a very long time. But
Okay.
new chair means a new routine. Um, and with this new routine, I found out a serious issue is don't put your leg in front of the wheel. Because,
Okay. You know, it's funny because certain things that you actually deal with and stuff like that, all you need is this little tiny thing to fuck up and stuff like that to make you realize that perhaps maybe I should do something else. Oh, and yes, by the way, Nicole, you're right. Doing everything time and time again and expecting a different result. I hate that shit, but even still, ooh, it's the definition of an insanity. But as you do everything time and time again, expecting a different result, and that result is different and stuff like that, that's where you learn. Because every time you do something, there may be this little nuance that's a little bit different. So you have to adapt to that. You have to understand that. And you have to realize, it's not always going to, work out the way you want to. Even though you got into that routine of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, sometimes you end up with 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1. But that's one of the things with a routine that bolsters you mentally is that when you do the 1, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1 and stuff like that, you realize where you are in space, you understand your strength and everything else like that. So even though there is going to be an expectation of a different result or an expectation of the same result, you got to be ready, willing, and able to actually deal with whatever it is that comes on. There's no difference from a fully able body as compared to a fully disabled body, unless, of course, you're super double disabled and the only thing you can move is your eyebrows. It's a different story. But that attitude has to remain, strong in you, man. It's you don't really have an option. You really
I,
don't. Rob, you don't.
I heard something the other day that made me think of you, or made me think that it's something you would say. And they said, if you're not failing, you're not trying.
Well, yeah. You know what I mean? Failure is the biggest motivator for fucking success, dude. Didn't we talk about the other day? We were talking about failure and the importance of failure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, you know, Yoda, man. There is no try, only do. And it's failure is the greatest freaking is the greatest reason for routine. Once again, you'll learn the best lessons when you shit the bed, Brody. When you shit the bed, you go like this. Oh, what did I learn from this? Oh, okay. It's like this. Oh, doc, my arm, it hurts when I do this. What's the doctor say?
Let me give you some injections.
No. Well, that's a jerk off doctors today. But back in the day, they'd be like this. Oh, don't do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that fucking hurts. That sucks. That you fucked that one up. Don't do that, man. Be cool. Don't fuck with that. But it's once again, you only learn that because you were a jerk off and you failed at something.
Yeah, I know that it took me a long time to learn how to transfer successfully as a part of my daily routine. And then the shower, it's I get a shower at night, so I'll have to get my shower chair out. And of course, I put it up against the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Because unlike you, your bathroom you can roll through with your other wheelchair. I don't have that option right now until we buy our house, but
Mm-hmm.
so I get in my shower chair. Daryl helped me unhook and all that other stuff. get me into the shower. I remember when I couldn't even wash shit, none of me. I mean, it was someone doing it for me. Now it's a routine where I get in there, I scrub, it's routine is important.
Yeah, so you're able to get in the shower and rub a dub dub your all your stuff. You know what I mean? At least to a degree, because you got to start with the first step before you get to the second, so on and so forth. But after you go through it a while, it's you figure it out, man. You only have two options. I used to like to do this with my fingers and stuff like that. Obviously, when my fingers used to work, I'd be like, you got two options. You got one. Can you see this? I'll put it on a black background or something like that. You got one where you figure it out. And then life gives you another one and it figures it out for you. This is the middle finger. And then when life figures it out for you, this is exactly what you get. All right?
Oh, that one.
Get fucked. You know what I mean? You get fucked. When life figures it out for you and you're unable to actually figure it out for yourself, you get fucked. And it just is what it is, man.
What do you think was like the hardest thing that you have introduced into your routine? That is that you had to work towards really hard. I'm sure that you have always worked hard.
Well, it's hard smart. It doesn't make any difference. But I mean, are we dealing with the since day one, or over the last hour and a half? I mean,
I would say that like the first 2 years, 3 years.
Okay, everything sucked. I mentally I wasn't there. Like I think I professed to you some while back that in the first year, even the first year and a half, I figured out more ways to kill myself than I did to tie my shoes, man. And I still can't tie my shoes, and I don't want to talk about the other part, but even still, at the same time, that's I figured out a way where I don't have to deal with the whole shoe tying thing. I have these things. I think I showed you these.
Oh. Yes.
I can take them off and I can put them back on. But that's son of a bitch. A minute. I'll pick it up. No big deal. But even still, every aspect of things that you have to do as it pertains, how you go about learning the lessons that you have to learn are important. And it all comes down to dealing with these routines and, the lessons that you learn. I mean, they might not be the greatest thing since, the invention of the paper napkin or something like that. But these are things that, through trial and error, you're going to figure out, man. It's like, you don't really have any option not to. Especially unless wait a minute, whoa, not especially. I say unless, of course, you want to live in the world of victimology. If you want to be, the preacher, the priest, as you stand at the altar of the church of victimology. I'm sorry, man, I'm not joining that church. I'm more of be your own motherfucking hero, man. We can all be our own superhero. We have to. We don't have any options. I mean, we do. We can be victims. We can be, doing nothing other than, breathing, taking up other people's air. And I don't know, dude. I'm rambling on here, dude. Take it.
I mean, I see if I always would have thought you were strong because of your attitude. You had always seemed like you always had it together. Like I always felt like, am I the one that was going crazy for the first 3 years that just didn't want to be here? You know?
You can pose that question to many others that had found themselves in the same situation. And I'm sorry, but anybody that said that they've always had mental strength right out of the gate and there's no indecision, I find that to complete and total bullshit. Only because an injury of this magnitude and the effect that it has not only on yourself, but the people around you, and they don't identify with that, um, they're full of shit. Only because I think I've mentioned this once again, dude. I really don't want to be redundant on this whole thing, but it's impossible for me to get away from is the fact that the day you are injured, okay, the second you are injured, especially if there's a manifestation of this injury to the level of, I guess, disability that it brings to your table. Nobody else is truly physically, well, not initially, physically affected by this injury to the magnitude that you are. Okay? At that second that whenever the injury happens, whatever it is, that means that the old you has fucking died. And depending on the length of time before you get to the point where suddenly, you have an epiphany, and like I had stated before, I had an epiphany about a little over a year after my injury, where I was just like, whoa, I came out of a fog. And that was the day, once again, that was the day the Angry Quad was born. But at that point in time, it was my rebirth. So July 7th, 2011, Sean Peter McCartney, as he knew himself, motherfucking died. And then roughly, I don't remember exactly what date it was, but it was like a year and a little bit later on that I think I told you when I grabbed up the little dumbbells and did all that tough guy shit,
Yeah.
and my head exploded. I had a moment of clarity. I was like, what the fuck? And I had to catch myself. I was like, what am I doing? The Angry Quad was born. So that interim, I was stuck in purgatory. But the purgatory that we deal with, everyone deals with it in a different way. Maybe some people deal with it in a week or two. Maybe some people deal with it in 2, 3, 4, whatever time is there. But until you come to grips with, all right, that guy is dead, so this guy has to take over. Maybe that guy's a girl. Maybe that guy's fucking, I don't know what the fuck, but
Yeah,
is what it is, man.
it's if I would have listened when I was in rehab, because they're teaching you this routine of what you should be doing every day. Transferring, working out. They're trying to teach you this, but in my head it was like, nope, I don't need no routine. I don't want to do this. But man, if I would have just listened, but my rebirth was the day that Tara showed me you. And we have talked about this 1,000 times. You're my boy, you're like my best friend. But I mean, that was my rebirth. You
Well,
know?
Yeah, if I'm your best friend, you need better friends, my man.
I know. I've been trying to figure it out. There is no way to get better friends, especially
Well,
when you're a gimp, as they say.
oh, what are you using my language now? That's
I
terrible.
just said, as
Terminology.
they say.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. Well, if they look like me, because I call myself the gimp all the time, dude. It just is what it is, But I mean, it's just, once again, Nicole just mentioned that lessons learned during challenges are the ones that you learn the best and stuff like that. In your opinion, Nicole, you're absolutely correct. It's just we don't learn any effective lessons if everything is happy peachy and every sunny Sundays. But regardless, dude, thank you very much. I appreciate you as a guy, but I will say you're one of my better boys in this forum, dude. I got a couple other guys and stuff like that, but we all live different lives,
Exactly.
and we all have, we all know different people in different places, different things. But I really do enjoy the conversations that we have. It's educational every time. I mean, I like to believe that, if I say to you something along the lines of, "Hey, bull, I can't turn this thing on," or something like that, and you're just like, it's because you're a jerk off, do this. And if I speak to somebody else and I'd be like, "Oh, drill this hole in this thing for me," and stuff like that. It's just it's a different situation. We all geez. Once again, I did a video a while back where I talked about I have 7 different personalities, but um, they're all me, but they're all inside. You know what I mean? Like the pissed off guy, the guy that deals with different emotions, the guy that's like the mental and physical manager, the guy that actually deals with computer, the guy that deals with bookkeeping, the guy, there's so many different factions and stuff like that. If you get an opportunity, um, look into Angry Quad Knock Knock, and I go through all of them. I have different names for everybody and stuff like that. I have the wise ass, obviously. Angry Quad deals with bullshit and stuff like that. So, it's on and on, man. But however, we don't really. A lot of times, you got to understand something. Like, we don't have a lot of options. Our options have been honed to a very fine point. It's not a broad spectrum thing. you know that broad spectrum opens up different things you could do as it pertains to different forms of spontaneity. However, the big problem is with quadriplegic. I mean, you went and you got yourself a trailer for your chair. What? That's because you need the chair in order to be spontaneous. But if you don't have the chair, you don't get that spontaneity.
Right.
So you gotta plan your spontaneity. And not only that, but if you go somewhere, perhaps maybe you need some form of medication, some form of nutrition, especially for you,
Yes.
some form of motivation, some type of undergarments. I mean, some type of, some type of, some type of some type. So you have to plan out what you do. And it's like a wet blanket on a fucking cold October day when you want to go and take a nice walk in the park and shit like that. Walking,
Right.
it's
I
like
mean,
some of that, Brody.
the trailer has brought on another whole routine. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Now it's transferring into the car, making sure the wheelchairs gets in the trailer, strapped down. She has her routine set for that now. So I mean it's made it a little bit longer of a process to get out of the house. But man, it's definitely worth it.
Most routines truly are that. They're very worth it. They're very, and this applies to both able and not able, to able and disabled. A routine actually, it clears your head so that you can do other things. It actually makes it so not only is it fully functional for the disabled and stuff like that to go through,
but it clears your mind up and stuff like that. It puts you sort of at a state of ease in that whole, what do you want to call it, fucking a bit of nirvana or something along those lines, to make it so that you can understand what you have to do so that you can do what you want to do. And it's mentally sort of like a form of stimulation where you get that little bit of a dopamine drip, which gives you a feeling of goodness, wellness, and the most dangerous puppy that I know, confidence, my man.
Confidence.
Oh, once you get confidence, it's a drug, man. You want to do it again. So if a routine is helping you be more confident, you're gonna want to do it again. You're gonna want to do it again, and it's want to do it again. You're gonna be like, oh, let me tie off and hit the vein, man. You know, it's just what it is. You're gonna look for your next whatever, whether you're boozing it up or fucking beating it down or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I'm actually adding going back to physical therapy twice a month as a new part of my routine because I want to learn more. I want to be able to do more for myself in my routines during the day. So I'm hoping that they can help me learn a little bit more and I can show them what I have learned over the last 4 years.
I will say one thing. I said perhaps maybe we should do a talk on my perspective as it pertains to physical therapy and stuff like that. I like it. However, I have a rather interesting the way that I see it and stuff like that. So, you know, I agree that physical therapy is a good thing. I agree 1,000%. I will say, as it pertains to you in physical therapy, my suggestion to you, I mean, do what you want. Dude, let's not you judge, lest ye be judged, my man. Do what you want. But I will say, learn about the muscular system. Learn about the skeletal system. Learn about the nervous system.
We were talking about that trial with the E-stem.
Okay?
And that's what I'm hoping to get back into when I get there is that trial, that routine. So, because that thing, it really made me feel like I worked out for hours. I love it. I love being on the mat, hooked up to that, and them showing me different ways I can move and be moved.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it doesn't, I mean, I love being shocked. Who doesn't?
I was involved in a transcutaneous electrical stimulation trial for 1 year and 9 months, dude. They
That's why I
pumped more
said,
current through my body, man. And I was so pissed off when they wouldn't allow me to take any video of it. Because, I mean, as fucked up as it was, I froze my ass off. They burned my back. I ended up getting tattoos up and down my spine. From the time I was a kid, I was just like, I'm going to get a tattoo. When I was like 18, I went to my mother and I was like, Ma, I want to get a heart right here with the arrow through it, with the whole mom thing. And she said, only drunken sailors get tattoos. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's off the table. And I always thought I was going to get a tattoo, but I couldn't figure out anything that I thought was so cool that had such a story behind it, that had some meaning and purpose until we started having to have these electrodes applied to certain places every time.
oh, yes, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I went and did that trial, they
Uh-huh.
didn't do, I wish they did that. Or it wasn't the same trial as you, but the pads were placed in these spots and it had to be the same spots every time.
Yep. Well, after the 8th or 10th time or something like that, and these fuckers, it would take them 45 minutes because when you have a laminectomy, they shave off parts of your vertebrae, so it's difficult to find the levels that they want to do. So it would take them like 15 minutes just to do the neck. And then after that, they would put a little mark on there, and then they would drop down and they would 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then they would do something else. So they would leave these little dots. And after, like I said, about 10, 12 times, 8, 10, whatever, I was like, this is fucking retarded. And I spoke to the missus. I was like, babe, I can't deal with this anymore. I mean, everybody shit the bed when I went back, because we ended up with I think it was like a 13-day layoff or something like that for reasons of which I have no idea. And after 2 days, I was like, let's go. Let's go. And, I got all those. And the missus God bless, man. I thought it was a beautiful thing. But she ended up getting one of these little bullseyes right over her heart, the same thing. And I was like, that's my girl. I didn't expect it, but I was just like, that's a beautiful thing. Only because she realized that this had as much, a lot of meaning to her as it did to me. And the fact that she put it over her heart, she was like, sort of like, shot through the heart type of thing. So I was just like, I thought it was beautiful, man.
I don't know how we were so blessed with the 2 women there that we have in our life, but...
You mean the angels in our life?
I don't know what we did. We must have did something right.
Yeah. It's just, it's really that pure insanity and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know. It's me and Mayor were together for a while and stuff like that. The thing that's really fucked up is that I've been with Mayor longer with my injury than I was fully able.
Oh.
The person that had the least to gain, the least to fucking gain, to stick with me, stuck with me. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And you're right. I don't deserve it.
I wake up every day and feel the same thing, man. Sometimes it's hard to express how important they are, what they mean to us,
It really is insane. I mean, especially for you. You remember when you moved into that house? What did I say to you?
I remember the first day you were like, that house is going to change you guys' life.
Some things are easy to see, dude. But I could see the direction of the relationship that you had. I could see the direction of the trajectory of your life that you had going on. And, dude, do me a favor. Fuck off. I had nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? Maybe like this much, only because you were like, holy fuck, I don't have to be a jerk off anymore. I have somebody that gives a fuck about me. I can see a direction that I'm seeing. I can see like maybe a little peep of light at the end of the tunnel that didn't exist. And that house exemplified that in fucking to 1,000, man. Soon as you moved into that motherfucker, I was just like, this dude is embarking on a whole different story in his life, man.
And it's crazy because now we're looking for a house, and that's going to change life.
Yeah, of course.
And it's all because of routines.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Once you establish something that you're doing, and once again, what's the word I always said before? Well, routine breeds what? Confidence.
Growth.
Thank you. A little bit of growth, a little bit of understanding. You don't have to freak out about the thing that you're doing anymore, that you are so concerned yourself with. And now you can look past that. Once again, you can by removing the problem and you making that monotonous. So it's just like dull, stupid thing, instead of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? As you bite your nails off and go like this. Okay, all right, let me get this out of the way. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm here now. So what are we doing next? What's up? Oh, shit. How'd you do that quick? Well, it wasn't quick, but it was methodical. And it's not this tenuous, horrible thing. Transfers are motherfuckers, man. And not only that, but even still, hey, jerk off, you got your seatbelt on? Answer the question, fat boy.
No.
Fucking dude, that's going to come back to bite you in the dick, my man. And when it does, when you hit the floor,
Listen.
I want you to go, oh, fuck, well, I was right, man. I don't want to fuck on this one, but hey.
Tara tells me all the time, your words, you're going to take the express elevator, like Angry Quad says. I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Nicole, by the
You're
way.
absolutely, yes.
I love my lady all damn day. 50 times till Tuesday, kid. Shit, I never even met that woman. Nicole, email me, angryquadgmail.com. I'll send you a t-shirt just for putting that post up. No problem. Tell me what size, tell me where it's going. No problem. But no, dude, I'm not looking to give you a little fucking, voodoo curse or anything else like that. But I'm just telling you, once again, routine.
Yes.
And every now and then you go out of your routine and you do the same stupid shit that I do. Everybody does. Oh, what is that down there? Oh, wow. And next thing you know, before you even know what happened, you're just like, oh shit. I mean, the first 3, 4, or 5 times, I found that I knew when I was falling because I didn't feel that weight on my abdomen, and I was like, oh fuck. And I somehow was able to roll through. I mean, I fucked up one shoulder up one time, no big deal, because I had been training at it, so I had a little bit more muscle mass. And then the other time, I went over this way. But there was this time, back in band camp when I took a flute and never mind.
I love it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
What movie was it? Apple Pie, or American Pie. American Pie.
American Pie.
American Pie. Yeah. I mean, hey, you picked up on that one pretty quick. But even still, it's just, I whacked my head pretty good. At one point in time, I thought I damn near broke my neck again. I was laid on the floor going like this. Oh, you got to be kidding me. But I was just like, okay, all right. I mean, it hurt for a couple of days and stuff like that. But I learned a hell of a lesson. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I shunned to that to gain.
Yeah, I think I've been lucky not to fall out of my chair very much. I think the only time I really ever hurt myself falling was Pittsburgh, the whole manual chair incident.
Well, you know what? It's once again, there's going to be lessons that we're all going to learn. But through routine and things of that nature, we can mitigate them down to a very small percentage because of our routines and because of our understanding, because of our routines, where, even if something were to happen, we then in turn have another routine in order to recover. And it's fucking huge, man. A huge, monumental, monstrous, whatever you want to call it, fucking, or a Trump. It's just all huge, whatever. But I mean, everything counts in large amounts. Even the smallest thing, you get 2 small things, they add up to something that's bigger. You get 2 small things that used to be small things, they added up to something bigger. And then you do that again and again and again. Now it's something even bigger, so on and so forth. The progression is going to continue. And the idea of trying to think for a second that that's not the way the world works. It worked from the time you were a child. You took one step turned into 2 steps, 2 steps turned you into Ronaldo, Nehemiah, or whomever the Usain Bolt. All right. The guy runs at damn near 30 miles an hour. Do you think from the time he was a child he was running at 30 miles an hour?
No.
I mean, no, he was probably going to run here like 15 miles an hour. He was 12 or some shit. But regardless, it doesn't happen in a second. You have to learn this. You have to understand this. I mean, it's one of the never mind. I'm rambling now, dude. So you fucking take it over, bull.
It's okay, man. You know, I think it's great that this whole routine, like this whole show, we started, you know, a couple Saturdays testing it out. I finally think
Thank you.
we have all the bugs worked out. You know, there's some things that we like to get a little bit better, but man, no echo. Things are working great. It was a good show.
I know, dude. I get better looking every show. It's amazing, isn't it? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my makeup person or some shit, or just my beautiful appearance and my magnanimous fucking personality and all the rest of that tough guy shit.
And I think we got like.
Did I mention my
100 and-
humility?
Huh?
Did I mention my humility?
Nah.
Oh, really? And my humble nature. Dad, don't worry about it. I'm humble, dude. This is what it is.
You are.
Oh yeah. Tell the missus that. You're like, yeah, humble. It's the first thing that comes to mind.
So we got like I gotta thank everybody. We have like 150 subscribers on the East Coast Rollers.
Okay. Well,
That's amazing.
maybe
Gotta
maybe
thank
we'll show up
everybody.
fucking day. Did I just lose you there, Chief?
No, I'm here.
Okay. I will say one thing before we split out of this entire thing. I did speak to Dr. Goldsmith as it pertains to coming in. Dr. Goldsmith is a doctor of research, spinal cord injury research. I don't know exactly what his availability is, but we should, I don't know how you want to rock that boat. But even still, at the same time, even if you don't want me here, I don't care. He's much more important than me. He's much more knowledgeable than me as it pertains to getting involved in research and certain different aspects of it. And like I say, I don't know if that would be next week or the week after or something like that. But I think if we start speaking now, maybe somebody, a few of these knuckleheads might want to show up and see what's going on, man.
Yeah, and we'll get a couple guests and start, planning out, and we'll let everyone know what our new schedule's going to be, how we're going to start running our time slots, because I really think we do have all the bugs worked out.
Yeah, I also think we should shift over to Wednesday.
Yeah.
Maybe not next week or anything else like that, but eventually. Only because, it's a much more desirable time slot for, others and stuff like that. I mean, it may not seem very late to you, 8, it's only like barely 8:15. But I mean, at this point in time, I start going through my night routine.
Yes.
And you know what I mean? Prior to this, and it's one of the reasons I had that little toothpick thing, is that I just ate. You know what I mean? Din time for Fat Boy over here is anywhere from 5:30 to 6 o'clock. And, that's when me and Mara sit down, we do a little chitty chat about what's going on and shit like that. And then, but regardless of that whole thing, but yeah, I mean, you have worked out the bugs. All I do is show up there, tough guy.
Tara helped a little bit. I was so.
You got
to thank her and Nicole and everybody else that joined the chat tonight. We'll definitely let you know when the next show is going to be and what time.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to end the stream right here so I can talk to my boy Angry Quad real quick and wrap this up.
Just throw money.
Dollar bills.
Yo, dollar, yo.
All right, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.